Hi. Many people have some fears of retirement. The worry about not having enough money, the idea of sitting around all day with nothing to do, or if your health will serve them. Even with all those fears, though, retired life can be one of the most fulfilling chapters. Retirement can be a time for growth, development, and focus on self-care, especially if you're looking to lead an active, healthy, and engaged lifestyle. We'll talk about the fears people face in retirement and how to tackle them, so you can stop worrying about retirement. The estimates confirm the trend for longevity. Lifespans are getting longer. And when we are young, we don't worry about retirement, as we think we will have plenty of time for it. But the biggest fear that almost half of Americans are facing is that they will run out of money. And it comes as no surprise since the risk is very real. People live longer and healthier lives, which means they may need to stretch their nest eggs over more years. People have fear of an identity crisis and being bored in retirement, and after spending decades in your job, you were suddenly stripped away of that part of your identity. Finding meaning in the retirement process is challenging for many pre-retirees and retirees. Well, whether you are nearing retirement or already a retiree, it's never too late to find passions, purpose, and rediscover the meaning of life. Retirement should be a state of mind, not a chronological milestone. Having a positive attitude toward retirement is a predictor of life satisfaction in the golden years. There's nothing that fosters a positive attitude toward retirement better than having clarity. Now, we'll talk about that. You spend your entire life working for a better living. A peaceful and worry-free retirement is what you deserve. No one loves being stressed about finances during their retirement days. Financial fear during retirement is natural, but to retire, you need to have enough money to cover your expenses and also have a little to spend on what is good for you. The shortage of funds during your retirement is the gravest financial fear. Statistics suggest that financial concerns have pushed some workers to retire later than expected to meet income or savings needs to pay for basic expenses. Yet many older workers, ages 50 through 70, face difficult working conditions. Besides, retirees seem concerned over rising medical bills, treatment costs, and inflation. Not saving sufficiently for their children also bothers retirees. Inflation and improper financial planning are the biggest retirement risks. Inflation continues to be a pressing concern, not only for retirees, but for people of all age groups. Chances are high that it would erode your savings sooner than later. This directly reduces the purchasing power of retirees, considering that inflation will continue to rise over the next few decades. Amidst market volatility, it pays to channel your funds intelligibly across different asset classes. This significantly helps in reducing retirement risks. Having multiple sources of income is one of the most effective ways to reduce financial risks during retirement. Income from real estate, assets, stocks, commodities, dividend-yielding stocks, and mutual funds can also supplement your retirement saving. Having well-defined and achievable long-term goals makes retirement planning easy. Considering the age when you start saving for retirement, put aside at least 15% of your monthly income for retirement funds. Also, consider market volatility, inflation, and other uncertainties while you plan for your future. Depending on your employment status, it's wise to maximize the contributions to your 401k, traditional IRA, or Roth IRA. With a practical retirement plan in place, saving for your future wouldn't be a distant dream anymore. But you shouldn't consider Social Security to be a primary source of income during your retirement. The cash inflow you gain from Social Security can simply complement your existing income. It's not meant to be a mainstream flow of funds as you plan a peaceful retirement. What is the right age to start saving for your retirement? Try to start the wealth-building process from your mid-20s if possible. This way, you would benefit from the compounding effect of interest that would help you grow your wealth portfolio. But if you're past your mid-20s, know that it's never too late to start saving for retirement. Other risk is the fear of your health declining. We all know that the risk of health issues increases as we age. But there is one thing older adults fear more than chronic diseases: becoming a burden to their family, a concern that supersedes the fear of dying. Mounting healthcare and treatment costs might bother retirees, given that 70% of people will likely need long-term care services. An obvious line of defense against future medical costs is to stay prepared with the right type of health insurance policies. The best way to plan for your long-term healthcare expenses is to maximize your contribution to your 401k plan. This way, you can save adequately to manage your long-term medical expenses. Besides, it's as wise to contribute to an HSA health savings account. In the process, you can accumulate a dedicated pool of funds to manage long-term medical expenses during retirement. Contributing to an HSA also brings you some tax benefits. If you are already in your 50s, long-term care coverage is worth considering. This would cover the cost of in-home care for nursing, which typical health insurance policies don't cover. Another worry that bothers retirees is how much they should retire with. The first thing to focus on is to refrain from outliving your assets. Be careful while withdrawing your retirement savings. Besides, ensure that you have multiple sources of income and not just the salary from the ongoing job. Even after retiring, many people continue their businesses or capitalize on their real estate investments. The best solution is to have a well-conceptualized financial plan to help you negotiate your financial woes during retirement, to curtail your expenses and enable you to save more. When it comes down to getting control over your money, research and plan ahead so that you can make informed decisions. Nothing is predictable, but circumstances might see you supporting adult children financially even after your retirement. While children habitually grow up to be financially independent and look after their old parents, there are a few exceptions. Being generous to your kids isn't always intelligent when you consider your finances. The best way to ensure mental peace during retirement is to plan your investments for kids strategically. With a dedicated pool of funds available to finance their education costs or help them establish themselves, you can proceed towards a peaceful retirement. Other point is caring for elderly parents. Caring for your parents is a generous move, but it pays to weigh your abilities. This can consume part of your healthcare budget. You can mitigate this substantial burden only through preemptive medical expense planning. Is necessary to ensure that medical expenses for your parents or elderly relatives don't mess up with your retirement savings. Besides, special medical insurance policies are available that reimburse the expenses for caregivers. Planning the late life expenses for your family members or parents can ensure mental peace during your retirement. And now we'll talk about death. Let us be real. There's no easy way to overcome the fear of death, whether it's your own or your loved one's. Grieving from the unexpected death of a loved one can have major consequences, especially for people nearing or currently in retirement. And losing your life partner is a prevalent fear in old age. Almost half of older couples experience anxiety over spousal death. So recognize that everyone has their fears, and just because you're afraid doesn't mean it will happen. Don't let this fear of retirement or fear of loss take over your life. If it does come to that, and we should acknowledge that it could, let yourself go through all the emotions in the grieving process. It's worth accepting that there's no rhyme or reason to the chaos that is the grieving process. In fact, it can have a cumulative effect where you feel the previous losses lumped in with a more recent one. The same chaos applies to your anxiety and fear of death, especially someone as close to you as your spouse. Accept that it's chaotic and that it'll come up sporadically. If and when it does, you can focus on the things that are in your control V's, those that aren't. Another useful tip is to double down on your gratitude. Whether it's writing in a gratitude journal or telling your spouse or other people how grateful you are for them, gratitude works wonders and even reduces cortisol hormone levels. Well, and now to finish, I need to tell you that it's no secret that retirement can be a frightening time in one's life. There are so many uncertainties and unknowns, and it can feel overwhelming to know where to start. If any of these fears sound familiar to you, don't worry, you are not alone. Many people struggle with fear of retirement. Retiring is one of those big steps we know we'll take at some point in our lives, and we can reduce the fear by starting to prepare as early as possible. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and also subscribe for channel tips for you because I'll bring more videos like this one. Important, the information in this video should not be regarded as financial advice. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.